Kent Police Department has released this year's security reports. We've got the details on what this means for Kent State students.
People within the Kent community are racing to find love. Find out more about how running club dating is providing new ways for people to connect.
If you are staying on campus during fall break or looking for a way to get out of your house, tomorrow is your day to get out and enjoy a nice picnic in the park.
Chick-fil-A is working on something new, but it won't be on the menu. It'll be on your TV. Find out more about how Chick-fil-A is branching out from the food industry. All this and more as KSTV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday evening. I'm Hayden Cruz.
And I'm Landry Torres. We begin tonight with a rise in singles running clubs, causing the local club to gain popularity.
KSTV's own Nikki Gajeski is here to tell us more. Good evening, Nikki.
Good evening. Yes, this past summer we saw an explosion in singles using running clubs for dating across social media platforms. I visited Kent One to see the local impact.
All right, come on, brother, we got this. We got this.
In the summer, singles running clubs took the internet and nation by storm.
Going to something like Run Club where you have at least a central activity is a good way to meet people.
This sensation is drawing more Kent locals to Northwater Brewing Running Club.
We're getting a lot more students. We've had big groups from Neomed and Kent State over the summer recently, students who are starting moving to the area. We are also seeing a rise in Kent State professors joining the group. We're getting faculty members moving into town who are looking to meet people and to learn things.
I think that a lot of people like meet each other and gain connections because they have things in common. So I think it's definitely increased.
This coincides with the digital gap.
I think that having that face-to-face interaction allows to pick up on other cues that maybe you're missing out on if that is just a virtual conversation. And personally, I just think there's something more enriching about being in a room with somebody to have a conversation.
According to a CBS News report, the number of dating apps downloaded in 2023 decreased 16% from 2020. And I think the people behind me can agree the reason for this may be due to desire for in-person interaction.
Because I like hanging out with the people here. The beer's good and a lot of running.
I met a lot of friends. We do a lot of fun things outside of running now too with all the people I've met. We've been a part of people's weddings, birthday parties.
As for the dating scene,
We have some singles. We don't have any couples that have happened as a result of Run Club.
there seems to be hope though.
Yeah, if you're looking interested, yeah, there's a lot of single people here, myself included.
Well, it looks like I ran out of time. With marathon season upon us, Alicia and Kristen encourage all interested to come to their club at 6 every Thursday. Reporting for KSTV News, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Well, the last day to register to vote is Monday, and several students need to re-register. A third-party group known as Akron Votes registered 1,000 students with 250 students incorrectly registered due to improper information the group provided. The Portage County Board of Elections are continuing to reach out to students to re-register by the October 7th registration deadline. For the full list of student names who were improperly registered, visit kentwire.com's top stories.
The 2024 security reports have been released by the Kent State Police Department. The university is required to provide students with crime-related information under the Clery Act. Reports compare on-campus crimes from the past 3 years. Sex offenses have dropped to 7 reported instances, while dating violence has risen significantly to 18 reported instances.
University residents, check your emails because you can make a positive change on campus. University Housing is asking residents to vote on new furniture coming to the residence halls. You can choose between a 3 or 5 drawer dresser, 3 different wardrobe styles, 2 bed styles, 3 desk options, including one that will hang off the end of the bed, and 2 chair options. There are also options for a pedestal and also a shelf at the end of the bed. Voting is open now until next Wednesday at 11:59 p.m.
The Kent Keyboard Series kicks off on Sunday, October 6th. The season will start off with guest artist Conrad Tao. There, he will premiere Books of Flowers by Kent State faculty member Adam Roberts. Book of Flowers is a collection of 16 character pieces for piano inspired by many musical artists from the past. Tickets are now available for Kent State students and staff.
Chick-fil-A is launching a new product, and it's one you don't have to leave your house for. However, it's not edible.
Kent Staters TV Kobe Slosser has the story.
When you think of Chick-fil-A, what comes to mind? Loyal employees, happy customers, the food? How about streaming?
Right, no, that does not make sense.
Obviously, very interesting pivot for them to go into the streaming service.
That's right. On August 21st, 2024, Chick-fil-A announced plans to make a streaming service that features family-friendly, unscripted shows in a market where there are already dozens of streaming services available. Although it was announced, there are questions as to why Chick-fil-A would do this, and if it's even sustainable. Marketing professor Christopher Maher gave his thoughts on the potential audience that Chick-fil-A might be trying to reach.
Chick-fil-A is the one of the very few brands that is extremely open and committed to its religiousness. They think that maybe there is like an opening to put themselves in the same space as like the Hallmark Channel, but like to a point of exclusion where like they will only do things that they believe are like, you know, within the acceptability of Christian norms and beliefs and values. I bet you it's something like that.
His colleague, Randy Amore, is definitely surprised by the streaming service idea, but believes it could work.
Do I think that it might turn into something long-term? Maybe. I've seen other things, and it could very well live a life of its own if it's filling an interesting niche as Hallmarky type religious-y channel without being preachy but like G-rated. Maybe. There's probably an appetite for it.
While it's still up in the air if the streaming service will actually become real, it's still sending confusion and intrigue to anyone interested in where this idea will end up. For KSTV, I'm Kobe Slesser.
Looking for a way to get outside tomorrow? Well, Town Hall 2, a local community organization, is hosting a community picnic. The picnic is free and open to the public with music and games. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and vegetarian options will be provided, along with ice cream and apples. You can also get a free haircut if you need a little trim. The picnic will take place in the Hometown Bank Plaza in downtown Kent from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. At noon, Mark Lee Shannon will present The Sound of Recovery, Music and Message.
Fall festivities are here, and Standing Rock Cultural Arts is presenting their 19th annual Cider Fest. The festival provides many activities, including music by the Old Time Apple Stompers. The Cider Fest will be held on Saturday, October 5th from noon to 3. This is just one of many annual downtown innovative community events. All of these various events are held in the open air at the Hometown Bank Plaza and are free to the public. The Portage County Health District and Akron-Canton Regional Food Pantry will host a market-style pop-up food pantry tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. The last of their market style before they turn to drive-through style for the winter months.
The event will take place at the Portage County Health District building. Community partners will be on site providing additional resources, education, and health screenings. To learn more about this event and how to help the community fight hunger, visit acrfb.org.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Kent State. I'm anchor Eli Federspiel coming to you with tonight's weather. First, we're going to take a look at our hourly forecast for the night. Currently 6 p.m. We are at 63 degrees, a 1% chance of precipitation. Looks like that chance of precipitation is going to rise a little bit as we head towards midnight into Thursday. 51 degrees at midnight, and then as we continue on tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we'll be having 47 degrees, but it's still going to be sunny. We'll work our way up a little bit, having a bit more of a brisk morning with a 7% chance of precipitation. Tomorrow, diving more into that, we are going to be having a high of 73, so that 47 at 8 a.m. We'll be working up from that. A low of 46, but it's going to be mostly clear day. We're going to have some sun, maybe a little bit of clouds. We're going to be having 6-mile-per-hour winds heading towards the east and a 7% chance of precipitation as the day goes on. So we'll still be enjoying those 70-degree days as we are having that first week of October. Next, we are going to dive into our northeast regions, our major cities in this area. Ashtabula is currently sitting at 63 degrees. Cleveland, similar, 64 degrees. Sandusky working up a little bit, 66. Mansfield and Worcester both are sharing that, 66. Akron, Canton, 64. We head over here, Youngstown, also at 64, and Kent currently is at 61. Again, this first week of October, we are looking about having some pretty nice days. Make sure to stick around for more from me covering our current statewide weather for this evening, as always, as well as our upcoming forecast for this week. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Eli. Tim Waltz and J.D. Vance faced off last night for the 2024 vice presidential debate held in New York. Stay tuned for a recap of events.
According to new data released Wednesday, hiring in the U.S. jumped more than expected last month. We've got more on this news later.
At Kent State University, we want all students to develop a global perspective. And with more than 200 study abroad programs in 60 countries, there are many opportunities. One is found in the Central African country of Rwanda, where students connect with survivors of the 1994 genocide.
We're learning about the reconciliation process. Rwanda sort of took a very community-based approach to how they recovered.
In January, a group of Kent State student athletes traveled to Rwanda, where they organized a soccer camp for children.
While we were there, we got to work with kids and spread our knowledge about sports.
And we brought shoes, cleats, soccer balls for everybody.
It was a transformational experience.
The people of Rwanda were full of joy. They were also full of excitement and life.
I think the big thing that I'm going to take home personally from the experience is perspective. There's not just one way to do things.
This was unlike any other academic experience I've ever had.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Traveling out-of-state patients have caused Ohio abortions to increase substantially. Abortions have risen 19% from 2022 to 2023. The number of out-of-state patients increased from 1,287 in 2022 to 2,770. Data shows how Ohio became an escape for patients residing in areas where abortion is illegal.
Minimum wage in Ohio is going to increase. Starting January 1st, 2025, minimum wage will go from $10.45 per hour to $10.70. According to the Ohio Department of Commerce, tip employees' minimum wage will increase from $5.25 per hour to $5.35. A recent effort to increase the state's minimum wage to $15 an hour did not collect enough signatures to make the fall 2024 ballot, but is now aiming for November of 2025.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Like many states, States, West Virginia is still suffering serious damage after Hurricane Helene. Governor of West Virginia, Jim Justice, declared a state of emergency shortly after he undermined the damage caused by the hurricane. Many of the residents do not have power, and repairs are in the works. Governor Justice hopes that declaring a state of emergency will help residents get assistance quicker.
Let's get back to our Kent State and Portage County weather forecast for this Wednesday evening. We'll also take a look at our surrounding areas, including weather statewide. All right, our major cities statewide, we are currently looking at Toledo is at 68 degrees, Columbus with 71 degrees, a little bit warmer, Cincinnati typically warmer, 73 degrees, Athens similar, 73. Over here, we're looking at Pittsburgh, similar to Toledo. We are at 68 degrees. And Akron, Canton, kind of being the pit of a little bit of colder weather. Chillier tonight, we are at 64 degrees. Our extended forecast for this week. Let's dive into what you need to know. So we're going to be at a high of 73 degrees, low of 46 tomorrow with a 7% chance of precipitation. Very similar day on Friday, 74 and a low of 49. Same amount with 7% chance of precipitation that night. Saturday, we're going to be having a high of 70 degrees, low of 49, but we will be having a bit more of a sunnier day, and that is going to make up for Sunday's thunderstorm. It's looking like a 57% chance of precipitation, high of 77, so we may be able to enjoy a little bit of all the seasons that day. Monday, we're going to be taking a look at 62 degrees, low of 45, and we're going to be going back down to a low chance, 4% chance of precipitation. Similar Tuesday, 63, low of 41, and 6% chance. Wednesday, high of 65, low of 44. And we're going to have a little bit more sun as we go into that second week of October. Make sure to check back tomorrow evening for more weather-related content and updates. As always, I'm your Wednesday weather anchor, Eli Federspiel. Back to you next week, Portage County.
Thank you again, Eli. All right, taking a look outside of Ohio, we now shift to national coverage, discussing tonight's top stories in politics and employment.
Starting with a recap of the vice presidential debate Tuesday night. Julia Benbrook has the story.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, bringing their fight from the campaign trail to the debate stage and detailing their party's positions on the top issues, including the economy.
I know a lot of you are struggling. I know a lot of you are worried about paying the bills. It's going to stop when Donald Trump brings back common sense to this country.
Kamala Harris has said to do the things she wants to do, we'll just ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. When you do that, our system works best.
Reproductive rights.
Let voters make these decisions. Let the individual states make their abortion policy.
Just mind your own business on this. Things worked best when Roe versus Wade was in place.
Border security.
We had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue.
So you've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations.
And foreign policy. The debate taking place just hours after Iran's attack on Israel.
Effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before.
Our coalition is strong, and we need the steady leadership that Kamala Harris is providing.
Reporting in New York, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Rosh Hashanah, or also referred to as the Jewish New Year's, begins tonight. This is a traditional fall holiday that takes place at the beginning of Tishrei, the 7th month of the Jewish year.
The 2 days of Rosh Hashanah bring in the 10 days of repentance, also known as the Days of Awe, which we culminate in the major fast day, or Yom Kippur. To anyone celebrating Rosh Hashanah, we wish you a Happy New Year. U.S. police departments are taking extra precaution in Jewish communities and places of worship. All across the country, police patrol has been increased with the start of Jewish holidays. Police say the action is preventative and not a response to any specific threats that have been made.
Hiring in the U.S. spiked more than anticipated last month with an estimated 143,000 jobs added. That comes from new data released Wednesday by payroll processor ADP. The estimated number is a rebound from the month prior, where 103,000 jobs were added. Private sector employment gains exceeded economists' expectations. The gains were widespread across major industries. However, the tech-heavy information sector posted losses. This comes as job growth has slowed substantially during the past year.
2 former Louisville police officers faced their second indictment of the year. The previous indictment followed after the judges dismissed charges on Kyle Meany and Joshua James in August. The most recent indictment includes the same charges from August, but includes additional allegations. Both men are accused of using false information and omitting details in order to obtain a search warrant. Hear about how a Miss Universe contestant displays confidence in telling the world to chase their goals and dreams.
And the Detroit Tigers and Houston Astros started their best-of-3 series last night, and it ended just a few moments ago. We have the updates on who moved on to play the Cleveland Guardians.
My name is Liam Aberly. I am an assistant designer here at Yellow Cake. Everything I do currently is all stuff that builds on top of things I learned at Kent.
They had a different commitment to their craft or to their major. Part of that is just who he is naturally, and I think part of that he gleaned and honed at his time at Kent State.
There has been a bit of a budding scene here in Cleveland between Valerie and some other designers that live around here, and we're really starting to put Cleveland on the map in the fashion world.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dom O'Brien, and welcome to your KSTV Sports Report. This will be our last report of the week, so we'll try to update you guys on things happening throughout this weekend. We'll start over at the Links as the Kent State men's and women's golf team finished their third round of the Blessings Collegiate Invitational. After the final round of competition, Arkansas took the team victory on the women's side, and LSU got their win in the men's side. Kent State finished 7th in both sides of the tournament in a 10-team field. Golden Flash Jordan Gilkison finished inside the top 5 of the individual side of the bracket. They will now look forward to compete in South Bend, Indiana this coming weekend. Now we'll go over to the pitch as the Kent State soccer team will host another MAC opponent in the Western Michigan Broncos on Saturday, October 5th, aka my mom's birthday. The Golden Flashes are coming off of a 0-0 draw against the Ohio Bobcats last Sunday. Last time Kent State played Western Michigan, it was in the MAC playoffs last year where the 4-seeded Golden Flashes upset the Broncos when they were the 1 seed. Also, as part of their annual blackout game, black replica soccer jerseys will be given to the first 100 fans. And now we'll go to the MLB as it was the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. This first hit from Jake Rogers, it's lined up on the left side. It runs in Winsell Perez, and the Tigers kept moving in this inning in the second as, again, Trey Sweeney also sends this up the middle. Runs in Parker Meadows all the way from second base. He's safe, 2-0 Detroit. And what's better than 2 RBI singles? Well, 3, of course, as now you got Matt Vierling also sending one through the heart of the Astros. Rogers comes in to score. Sweeney goes to second, 3-0 in the second inning. The Tigers just kept on moving. But the Astros tried to make a little bit of a response here as Yainer Diaz slaps one up the right side. Zach DiZenzo scores this one, makes it a 3-1 ball game in the bottom of the ninth. It looked like it was going to be a close one as Jason Hayward, will he? No, he will not. He will not get a base hit. That'll be it. The Tigers win that one 3-1. And then just a few moments ago, they ended up beating the Astros 5-2. So they will be the ones to play the Cleveland Guardians on Saturday in the ALDS. That's all we have for sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Dom O'Brien. Let's send it back to the desk.
All right, thank you, Dom. Well, on Wednesdays, we wear pink, except for right now. But tomorrow, we go to the movies. That's right, grab your burn books, because Mean Girls is back.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
The collaboration between Kent State and the Cleveland Museum of Natural History is a long-standing one.
Dr. Aaron's experimental lab is really state-of-the-art. It's known internationally.
We can recreate any artifact from the last 3 million years, and the Cleveland Museum of Natural History has pretty much any tool that ancient people use. So we send our students up here to study those examples so they can figure out how to recreate them. And the collaboration led to incredible discoveries right here in Ohio. And it's a dream come true.
A South Korean pageant princess proves that age is just a number. 80-year-old Choi Soon-hwa is in the running to be the next Miss Universe. Choi used to be a medical caregiver, and she was often told that she needed to model. Choi says she always loved fashion and acting as a child, but life got in the way. It's the first year the pageant has dropped their age restriction, and Choi will be competing for the crown.
Well, get in, losers. We are going to the movies. The 2014 comedy Mean Girls is returning to theaters for its 20th anniversary. So grab your mouse ears and Caltine bars, as you can once again make fetch happen on Thursday, October 3rd, or Mean Girls Day, and Sunday, October 6th. However, if you wish to watch either the OG or the 2024 musical movie, you can watch both streaming on Paramount+. Head to fathomevents.com for locations and show times, and you go, Glen Coco. Well, that is all the time we have left for the night. Thank you so much for joining us.
For the latest updates on stories that impact our community, go to the Kent Wired website and follow us on social media. I'm Landry Torres.
And I'm Hayden Cruz. Have a great fall break, and KSTV will see you back on Monday.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?